called Inception streaming. It's where you see the stream within a stream.
Damn, like 3 layers, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. It's pretty awesome. Let's see if this works. We'll see. If not, I give up. Yep, we're good. Alright, what's the... Oh, look at those hot dogs, though. Those look pretty good.
I put it in SCB Gaming 1.
Yep. I got it.
Good.
I hope none of you catch it. So...
Alright, starting it.
I hope none of you catch it, because it's murder. So, a lot of folks pointed out that the last interactive mode demo I did for the PvE portion of Arena Commander, called Vandal Swarm, was getting to be a little outdated. And the same lot of folks are under the impression that it doesn't work at all like it used to when the last video was made. Well, it does and it doesn't. Caveat A, it's alpha. Things change. This isn't criticism, it's feedback. Make of it what you will. I'd not intended my last video...
Holy shit, I'm already sick to my stomach watching this.
Birdie to some feller that told me I was full of baloney when I claimed Vandal...
What kind of pussy shit are you watching?
Desk.
Look at my stream. Oh, hold on. Basically, he's playing Vandal Swarm with his feet on the counter right now, only using his mouse, not even touching his keyboard.
Okay guys, I'll be back AFK. I'm gonna go get me some bacon wrapped hot dogs.
Player to aim the ship's weapons with a mouse cursor on the screen.
Okay, bye Seiya, come back. Come back Seiya later.
Explosives shaped like a vagina.
Weapons to track before my shots headed towards the cursor after
Well,
clicking.
come back, but yeah.
Dong, 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 dong.
Cursor.
User left your
As
channel.
the target
That
is
is ridiculous.
Yeah, that is pretty. Did you see that makeup one? Wow. Oh, that's what I was watching. I don't know what you guys were. I'm a little late on the draw there with that.
That's interactive mode fracture.
In this video,
What?
What he's doing right now.
He's not watching the stream. He's watching
Oh,
Here, I'm taking a look.
that's what interactive mode does, and why there's such a big debate about it, and what it does for the game. Because you're really controlling your 2 axes with one movement. Is really what it comes down to. Every other input you have to control them separately, but with mouse you can do both.
mouse interactive mode.
and strafe back.
Right.
Fire my lasers. And with double taps, I've got throttle up and down.
It's not even so much a mouse. It's not even so much a mouse versus everything. It's not even like so much like an input argument, you know.
Letting a mouse aim the ship's
Oh
weapon
no, I use
and
the
fly
keyboard
ship. So
extensively.
essentially, the mouse is doubling either as the most
This is showing how easy it is to show the mouse to use the mouse interactive mode, that you don't even need the keyboard to use it.
Pointing device never invented,
It's-
or a gamepad where one of the analog sticks is either a mouse or the most accurate head pointing device never invented. The only thing that
I had to go to my fridge and grab a beer because I need to get drunk watching this. That's how. Ugh. Ugh. I mean, that's the thing is, like, I use joystick, and just like watching this and knowing players can basically have the control of their ship just using a mouse, it's just sickening.
What game
It's
is
not
that
a-
he's
it's not-
playing?
Star Citizen, that's Arena Commander.
It's not even a mouse issue though. That's what like people have to realize. It's the interactive mode that like is the problem.
It's the fact that you have control of your gimbals and your ship auto corrects
Yeah,
your
'cause
flight
it's not-
movement. It's like easy mode for flying a ship, because
I don't think because it's not so much an input. It's just interactive mode versus everything else. Because even myself that I use a mouse in relative mode, I am very disadvantaged against an interactive mode pilot just because they could do that kind of shit, you know.
So, this
I mean,
video
it
being in
takes,
the spirit of
for
feedback,
example,
I come to caveat B.
you have to be a lot better than somebody when you're like PvPing, like if they're in interactive mode, or you can have a fucking overpowered weapon like the Mantis right now. That's how you like have like a like a shred of hope.
Percentage of users, big or small, the majority of Star Citizen will occur. But this isn't a single player game where this kind of control method has been used in the past and will be in the future. If you've made it this far, I'll leave you with a few questions. Is what you're seeing what you wanted out of the best damn space sim ever? Does flying a spaceship in a space battle look appealing?
Gibbs, is your mind blown?
Does it look engaging?
Do this, and I know he's only doing Vandal Swarm. If he was to try to fly that in that way in PvP, he would get wrecked because he would have to strafe and stuff. But
Well,
regardless,
it's
but regardless, it still makes the point very. It still makes the
point-
point very clear. And I agree. Mission, you're preaching to the choir. You don't have to convince me.
Yeah, I mean, the point is that you can do it in PvP. The point is that you can do it at all.
How do you even use interactive mode? What?
Don't
Well,
trust him. You
it's-
have to convince him.
It's your default. It's your default mouse mode.
If you boot up the game and you don't touch any settings, you're in interactive mode.
So, what do you mean by don't touch any settings?
Meaning,
You play with the mouse, correct?
Yeah, play with the mouse.
Then you're playing interactive mode unless you switch something up.
I see.
Interactive mode is nothing else. It's a virtual joystick with an aim layer on top, and also a small dead zone in the middle that helps smoothen the aim.
yeah, pretty
So,
much.
How would they make it work with the mouse?
You either separate the aim from the mouse.
Well, what you gotta do, and I don't know why they even.
Well, that would be
released-
your ship controls. So how would you do that? You'd have to have three hands.
Guess what? Now you're in the same boat as everybody
No,
else
no,
that doesn't
here's-
use mouse.
Here's the problem, man. The problem is that in order to use gimbals, per the Star Citizen lore, they use apparently they use eye tracking, which is fucking stupid. They should use head tracking. So, anyways, what they have done is interactive mode is a method used so that you can control both the ship flight and also aim the gimbals at the same time.
And
Whereas
it's
all other input devices would have to use a sort of either head tracking via like TrackIR, Oculus Rift,
or some other type of input
or-
to control it, but there's
or-
no. Yeah.
or they could use the in-engine look-ahead mode. Look-ahead mode is a mode that you could actually toggle in the game. You could even do it with the mouse if you're in relative mode. And what it does is it simulates the player's head movements. So you can control gimbals also with one device via look-ahead mode, but the difference is that it's not just floating a cursor around the center of your screen like that. You're actually moving your head.
And you're moving your ship in the direction of. There is no dead zone.
Yeah,
Well,
there's no dead zone.
there is a dead zone, but it's a lot smaller. Isn't
no,
there?
Look ahead
Yeah,
does not have a dead
yeah.
zone.
No,
Look
there
ahead,
isn't.
like,
Yeah.
it's
Meaning,
because you're still controlling
Yeah.
the joystick, but you're also controlling the player's head movement. It's
which yeah, no, you're right. Because what it means is if you move your aim to the left, right, your gimbals will aim to the left, but it'll also turn your ship to the left too. But you'll have a little bit of freedom with your weapons because you're in gimbaled, as opposed to interactive mode where there's a dead zone where you have like a space on the screen where you literally have free control of your weapons, and you have to get to a certain range for your ship movement to start to take control. So you're literally combining multiple axis controls and multiple flight ship movements and multiple aim axes all with one movement, and that's the only way. It's the only input that has that feature. So it's either you add that kind of you only add
you can't even. It's the only input that could take advantage of that feature.
Yeah,
you can't do that
exactly.
With joystick because the
Well,
mouse
I
is
was
a
gonna
precision
say
based
I was
device.
gonna say that you could do that with a joystick, but you'd be less effective than a mouse. So what's the point in using the joystick to begin with in the first place?
So like what a lot of people that don't actually like.
Because Dukesums, you can't make a pun on I'll show you my joystick. It's just I'll show you my mouse and keyboard. This doesn't really work out well.
I'm
Only
just
reason to use a joystick, to use
No,
mouse and keyboard or joystick.
I don't quite understand what you're trying to say, Jason.
Basically, I was making a dong joke, but it kind of went over your head.
Good.
But anyways, the problem is that the interactive mode is a mode that only mouse can use and only mouse can excel at. And the way that it's currently implemented into the game adds a definitive advantage to the actual.
It is, and that's
to you
why,
actually
and
flying
that's
flying
why,
away.
that's why if you go to the RSI forums, the biggest thread in the forums is over 1,200 pages long with over like 30,000 replies and over 400,000 views. The one
So
thread
it's-
is literally bigger than every single subforum in RSI other than the general
User
chat.
left your channel.
It's crazy.
So it comes back to the point that everybody should have to do the same thing. And if you're using mouse interactive mode, you're not doing the same thing as a mouse relative, as a HOTAS.
A good example, a good example is War Thunder, arcade mode versus simulation mode, or whatever the other name they have. That's the best way to describe it. So the other solution, if you don't want to fix it via changing the gameplay and the input methods as far as control the ship, is you literally have to separate. If you want to do like a straw hat argument, that would be one quick solution to it.
Which is honestly, I think what they're gonna have to do if they don't ever get rid of interactive mode.
To literally, they'll have two separate PU servers, one for interactive pilots and one for non-interactive pilots. But that even still, that brings up a whole multitude of problems because you can literally switch between the two. So how do you get it?
No, you can't. You can't because
if you're a mouse, you can.
No. It's not a. What they could do is they could have a server, right?
You don't want to split the community. That's not the solution. That's not the solution, regardless.
That would be a solution. It is the worst possible solution because I don't think splitting the player base is just you want a big PU. You want it as rich as possible. You don't want a fucking like barren wasteland.
Exactly.
But I mean, if push comes to shove, it is a viable solution. Because I mean, the only way that they could do it is, or one of the ways that they could do it is you can have like kind of like an instance, like in the options screen, where you can like check off like allow or disallow interactive mode into your instances, right? It's not an input issue. If it was an input issue, then I agree. It would be very shady, and people would be able to cross that line a lot. Because like it would be just the notion of like you can have a HOTAS on your desk, and then you can just switch to your mouse real quick, right? It's not an input issue though. So what they could do is for the more hardcore server, the server that has taken out interactive mode, they can block mouse movements to either relative or VJoy. Do not even include the interactive like command. Don't even make it an option.
But you're still splitting. You're still splitting when it comes down to it.
You're still splitting, and it would be.
And I agree. It is a viable solution, but.
No, it's a solution. It'd be the worst solution though.
Yeah.
The best solution would be.
So if you look at the stream right now, the guy right now is flying in relative mode, or right? Yeah. If you look at it.
He's flying interactive.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is. He's flying interactive. He's just flying an M50, I believe. Which.
This is a Cutlass, dude. I don't know if you're watching the same video I am.
Okay.
If you're watching the stream, he's flying relative. So if you look at it, his aim is tied directly to his ship movement.
I thought you were talking about the video that I linked.
No. I just let after that video got done, and just started playing something else. So.
Okay. But yeah, no, it's a solution, and if push comes to shove, it'd be like kind of like the ultimatum, so to speak, you know. But it would be there's so many other things that they could do beforehand that would be viable and a lot better off for the game.
Yep. So.
I just don't even know why they launched a game like that, dude.
So all that being said, let's do this.
Tips, you gotta fucking jump in Arena Commander, get into a free flight, and start binding your shit, man. You're gonna fall in love with that joystick.
I know I am. Well, how about this? No, how about this, dude? How about this? It's 9:30, but I will do this for you, mission. This weekend, I will hook up my Warthog and never look back. Okay?
I think you should get started right now. It's 9:30. Are you gonna go to sleep?
No, because one, I have to crawl underneath my desk to unhook my Logitech, and then I have to bring the Warthog down and hook that in. It just sounds exhausting.
Oh my god, these first world problems. You have to carry 300 pounds of cinder blocks like the fucking down the street or something.
Oh god.
You have to crawl under your desk.
Shh, I'm watching a hype trailer. Leave me alone. Leave me alone.
Fucking awful. No.
Yeah, I started this game pretty much like a week ago.
So oh, okay. Yeah.
I know absolutely jack shit about the game.
Yeah, sorry, man. I know we're kind of just talking because it's just a constant debate, and don't let that like sway your opinion of the game at all. Like it still is an alpha, and I also think they recognize the issue. Well, that's debatable, but It's just, I mean, players that don't use interactive also make do and generally are good. Because even with interactive mode, generally the skill level is very low in this game. Now you start seeing a difference when you get to more of the top pilots, and that's where it comes more apparent. But it's a microcosm of what the system is. And most top pilots who use interactive usually understand what the advantage they have is.
Well, yeah.
So
I think I did hear something about how joysticks are like have kind of the disadvantage right now in the game.
Remember, like I said, it's not an
But
input.
I thought that was just simply because it's a joystick.
no, it has nothing to it has nothing to do with the joystick. Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the inputs. Like even, for example, I use a mouse in relative mode, and even I am disadvantaged against somebody that has.
That uses interactive, yeah.
It's not, and that's like a big misconception that like people have. It's not an input problem.
It's not, yeah.
It's not, by any means necessary. It's not
But what makes the topic so debatable and hot is the fact of the matter is one of the things that SIG, promised and hopes to achieve is that the game is going to be controller agnostic, meaning that all inputs would be relatively equal. Obviously, each input's going to have their own advantages, but not to the point where one advantage is greater than using a different kind of input.
So how would they fix mice so that way? I guess what you're saying is nerf the mice.
It's not a
no, it's not a no. That's what we're saying. That's the point that we're making. Is it's not a matter of input device. It's a matter of control mode. It's a control mode that's currently in the game that does not sync up. That literally makes the appearance that mice is overpowered when really it's not the mouse that's overpowered. It's the mode. It's the flight mode that is overpowered.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So,
how do you turn it off on your mouse?
You can. There's two different things that you could do. There's what's known as VJoy mode, which is nothing more than locking your gimbals forward. Or you can do, for example, what I do is it's called relative mode, which is you press Control C on your keyboard, and what it'll do is it'll lock your gimbals forward, and it'll kind of make it so it's a 1-1 movement, like of your mouse to like your actual ship movement.
Mission, since he's never seen this video.
So basically, it turns your gimbals into not gimbals anymore.
No, well, I was gonna get to how you can actually use the gimbals. So if you choose relative mode, it'll fix your guns forward, and what you could do is you could toggle what's called look-ahead mode, which look-ahead mode is the way that pretty much everybody else besides interactive mode controls gimbals.
Sound muted.
Are born from great opportunity. And that's what you have here tonight, boys. That's what you've earned here tonight. One game. If we played them 10 times, they might win 9. But not this game. Not
this patch. This patch.
We
fly. This patch.
We stay with them. And we shut them down because we can.
This patch.
We are the greatest
CS spammers
in the world. You were born to be
CS spammers.
Every one of you. And you were meant to be here tonight. This is your time. Their time is done. It's over. I'm sick and tired of hearing about what a great
pilots the clickers are.
Screw them. This is your time. Now go out there and take it.
Like a
Sound
receiver end on top of your headset, and it tracks your head movement.
It's if you've never heard of it, it's when you first use it, it's like patting your head and rubbing your stomach at the same time at first, till you get used to it, and then it becomes
That's
intuitive.
Tough. It's tough, yeah.
But then it becomes
Hydro.
intuitive, but it's still not as precise as a mouse. And the only
No,
way
it's not.
Hydro is almost, I would say, as precise as a mouse, if not fucking better. But he's also
No,
put. I'm exaggerating, but I'm making a point that he's put in a lot of fucking hours with Track IR, and he's gotten used to it. And right,
Yeah, but I mean, even Hydra will admit to you that he can't track as precise as a mouse user.
yeah.
Part of the reason why he is so precise is because he also used reticle focus.
Well, my question, I guess, is, well, how fun is it?
It's really fun. It's really fun.
Right?
It's really fun.
Well,
It's
it's
really
a lot more skillful. Which is like the whole point beyond the game. You know, it's supposed to be a very skill-oriented game that has that you're supposed to dedicate a lot of hours to be able to master. You know, easy to get
Yeah.
and hard to master.
Yeah, so that's the thing is generally interactive mode will stop that or easy to learn, hard to master. It pretty much negates that argument. You know.
Sure.
So
Well,
I
don't
put
like
in
that aspect of that, you know.
so I put in
think
a
there
lot of
needs to be
time.
limits.
I
You know,
put-
obviously, you know, but also at the same time, there needs to be something kind of like
Everything that's been said in this chat has been said before a million times in the
Yeah.
debate thread. So
well,
we're not really
I'm totally
talking.
new to it, so
No,
it's-
and I know, and that's what I'm saying is we don't want to turn you off from the game either. I'm just saying that's why it's important to kind of realize the situation. In, like me personally, I fly joystick relative, obviously, because I use joystick, right? And I put in a lot of hours to get decent. And guess what? I'm in the top 100 of the leaderboards. You know, I consider myself a pretty good pilot. Maybe not the best or the elite of the elite, but I consider myself pretty good. And generally, even with interactive mode and its advantages, I'll generally wax most people. But I also put in the time to practice and learn.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
See, that's
part of the
my
issue,
whole
though.
thing is I'm here to I'm gonna be playing pretty much Arena Commander like religiously until the next node, and then I'm gonna get crazy good at that.
My only advice for you is realize that you're gonna suck in the beginning, even if you're using interactive. You may think you're pretty decent when you play against Vandal Swarm and AI, but once you get into PvP, you just need to realize that you're gonna get waxed. You're gonna get waxed often. You're gonna get waxed consistently until you start learning tricks, and that just comes with playing.
Yeah, that makes sense. Makes sense.
A lot of people don't have time for the patience. A lot of people don't have the patience for it, especially with the alpha state, because then on top of all the stuff we just talked about, the game's also buggy, it's unstable, you have frame rate issues, you have latency issues, it crashes randomly, you get connection errors. So
No, it doesn't.
I know, right? So all that being said, you know, the people that are currently playing and that play PvP and are really good, also you have to be a little insane, you know, so to speak, to fucking put in the time to do it. So if you're new to the game, I'm just trying to give you a perspective as far as what you're getting into, and then decide how patient you are, and then depending on how patient you are, how much time do you have to give and learn. Because patience and time are the two most important things of being good in Arena Commander.